Today we're diving deep into Stoicism, a powerful philosophy that has guided thinkers, leaders, and everyday people for centuries. In this video, we'll explore how you can train your mind daily using the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. From managing stress to finding inner peace, Stoicism offers practical tools that you can apply to your life right now. So if you're ready to embrace a mindset of resilience, self-control, and inner strength, stick around as we explore the teachings from Daily Stoic and how they can transform your day-to-day life. Number 1. A morning ritual. Starting your day with a purposeful morning ritual can set a positive tone for the rest of the day. The key is to create a routine that not only energizes your body but also calms your mind and focuses your thoughts. A great morning ritual often begins with a moment of stillness. Upon waking, instead of jumping straight out of bed, take a few moments to breathe deeply and set an intention for the day. Whether it's gratitude or a goal you're aiming to achieve, setting a positive mindset right away makes a difference. Next, move your body. Whether it's a quick stretch, yoga, or a short walk, getting your blood flowing boosts your energy and sharpens your focus. It's not about the intensity, but the consistency of movement. Afterward, hydrate. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning helps kickstart your metabolism and rehydrate your body after hours of rest. As part of the ritual, take a few minutes to reflect or journal. Writing down your thoughts, affirmations, or a to-do list brings clarity to your goals. Lastly, a balanced breakfast fuels your body for the day ahead. Choose nourishing foods like fruits, oatmeal, or a smoothie to keep your energy steady. Creating a morning ritual is about finding what works best for you. By dedicating time to a routine that supports your physical, mental, and emotional well-being, you'll find that the rest of your day unfolds with more ease and intention. Number 2. The day in review, where we'll focus on a powerful daily exercise called the day in review. This practice is essential for cultivating self-awareness, discipline, and personal growth, all key tenets of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that reflecting on our actions and thoughts at the end of each day helps us live in accordance with our values, improve our behavior, and develop inner tranquility. So, what is the day in review? It's a simple, yet profound exercise where we take time at the end of each day to reflect on how we've lived, what we've done, and how we've responded to the events around us. This practice is attributed to several prominent Stoic figures, including Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, both of whom emphasized the importance of self-examination. By reviewing our actions and emotions, we can learn from our experiences and make adjustments for tomorrow. The first step is to find a quiet moment, usually at the end of the day, to look back at how you lived. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on his actions and thoughts, asking himself, "Did I do the best I could today? Did I react well to challenges?" This self-questioning isn't about beating yourself up, but about assessing your behavior with honesty and compassion. Ask yourself, what went well today? What could I have done better? How did I handle stress, anger, or frustration? Did I act according to my values, or did I let emotions get the best of me? Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, advised reviewing your day with precision, as if you were your own mentor. He believed that by examining your actions, you can avoid making the same mistakes again. Seneca encouraged people to keep this reflection as neutral as possible, without self-criticism or pride, because it's about learning, not judgment. Once you've identified areas for improvement, think about what actions you could take tomorrow to handle similar situations better. Maybe you want to be more patient, or perhaps you need to speak more kindly to someone who frustrated you. This process isn't about perfection but progress, about making small, consistent changes to align more closely with your virtues. But the day in review also isn't just about spotting mistakes. It's equally about recognizing your successes. It's important to acknowledge when you've handled a difficult situation well, remained calm in a moment of stress, or showed kindness when it wasn't easy. These moments are what Stoicism encourages, living virtuously in every circumstance. The benefits of this practice are immense. Over time, it helps you build resilience, emotional control, and clarity of purpose. Instead of being swept up by the chaos of daily life, you become more grounded, intentional, and aligned with your values. This daily reflection strengthens the Stoic virtue of temperance, moderation in all things, and helps cultivate wisdom, the ability to navigate life thoughtfully and with purpose. In conclusion, the Day in Review is a cornerstone Stoic practice for anyone looking to live more mindfully and with greater purpose. It requires just a few minutes at the end of your day, but the impact it has on your character and your peace of mind is profound. So tonight, find a quiet moment to ask yourself, how did I live today? How can I live better tomorrow? Number 3, the truth about money. In today's world, we often hear the saying, money makes the world go round. It's true to a certain extent. Money holds power. It can provide comfort, open doors, and improve our quality of life. But the question is, how much should we let it control us? This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers us a refreshing perspective. At its core, Stoicism teaches us how to live in harmony with nature and ourselves, and part of that lesson is understanding the role money plays in our lives. The Stoics didn't outright reject wealth. They simply didn't view it as the highest goal. For them, virtue, living a good life through wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, was far more important than financial success. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, was actually quite wealthy, but he emphasized that wealth should never be an end in itself. Instead, it should be a tool, something we use wisely but do not rely on for our happiness. One of the key concepts in Stoicism is recognizing what is within our control and what is not. Money, to some extent, can be controlled through hard work and effort, but it can also be subject to external factors like market crashes or unexpected emergencies. Stoics teach that we shouldn't base our inner peace on something so fragile. Instead, we should focus on developing our character, as that is something we can control regardless of our financial situation. This doesn't mean Stoicism advocates for a life of poverty. The Stoics believed that if you can earn wealth in an honorable way, there's nothing wrong with that. But the distinction lies in not letting your worth be tied to your wealth. Money should enhance your life, not define it. There's a famous Stoic exercise called premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. The Stoics would mentally rehearse losing everything: money, possessions, status. This wasn't meant to make them fearful, but rather to prepare them for life's uncertainties. By imagining the worst, they could face challenges with more calm and resilience, knowing their happiness wasn't dependent on material wealth. In modern times, we are often bombarded with messages equating success with how much money we make or the things we own. But Stoicism reminds us to pause and question, is that really where true contentment lies? The Stoics would argue that real wealth is found in inner peace, wisdom, and living in accordance with your values. In conclusion, while money is important in today's society, Stoicism urges us to treat it as a tool rather than the ultimate goal. It can make life easier, but it should never dictate our happiness or self-worth. By focusing on what truly matters, our character, our actions, and our inner peace, we can live a richer, more fulfilling life, whether we are financially wealthy or not. Number 4, push for deep understanding. Have you ever wondered how to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and resilience, no matter the chaos around you? One philosophy has guided countless individuals throughout history: Stoicism. But what exactly is Stoicism, and how can it help us today? In this video, we'll explore the Stoic push for deep understanding, what it means, and how you can apply it to your own life. Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy, founded around 300 BCE, and made famous by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. At its core, Stoicism teaches us how to live in harmony with nature, accept what we cannot control, and focus on what we can: our thoughts, reactions, and decisions. But to truly benefit from Stoic wisdom, we need to go beyond just knowing the ideas. Stoicism calls for deep understanding, an inner transformation that happens when these principles are not just concepts but lived experiences. So, what does this deep understanding look like? The Stoics believed that knowledge is only the beginning. To be truly wise, we need to internalize these teachings through practice, reflection, and daily living. It's about training the mind to consistently respond to life's challenges with reason and calmness, instead of being swayed by emotions. A key Stoic idea is the dichotomy of control. Simply put, there are things we can control and things we cannot. A deep understanding of this concept helps us accept that many external events, whether it's the weather, other people's opinions, or even our own past, are beyond our control. Instead of wasting energy trying to change what we can't, we focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our responses. One way Stoics push for deep understanding is through a practice called premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. By regularly reflecting on potential challenges or setbacks, Stoics train themselves to remain calm and composed, no matter what comes their way. This isn't about being pessimistic, but about mentally preparing yourself for life's inevitable difficulties. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When we deeply understand this, we begin to see how often our worries and fears are exaggerated by our own minds. The Stoic practice of self-inquiry, regularly questioning our thoughts and emotions, helps us gain clarity and distance from irrational fears. In today's fast-paced world, the push for deep understanding in Stoicism offers a way to cultivate lasting peace, even in the face of adversity. By constantly practicing and reflecting on Stoic principles, we become more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more content with life as it is, not as we wish it to be. In the end, Stoicism isn't just about knowledge. It's about wisdom. The wisdom to see things clearly, to accept life's impermanence, and to focus on what truly matters. This journey toward deep understanding is a lifelong practice, but it's one that leads to a more meaningful, fulfilled existence. Number 5. The only prize. Welcome to this exploration of Stoicism, a philosophy that has endured for over 2 millennia and still resonates today. One of the central ideas in Stoicism is the concept of the only prize. But what exactly does that mean? What is this prize that Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca spoke of? And how can it apply to our modern lives, especially in a world so focused on external rewards, material success, and social approval? Let's break it down. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that true happiness and fulfillment do not come from external things. The Stoics believe that the only thing we truly control is our own mind and our reactions to the world around us. External events, including wealth, fame, and even relationships, are beyond our control. And because they are outside our control, we should not base our happiness or sense of self-worth on them. Instead, the Stoics argued that the true prize in life is inner virtue. In the Stoic sense, virtue doesn't just mean being morally good in a conventional way. It's more about living in harmony with nature and using reason to guide our actions. Virtue, for the Stoics, is the excellence of character and mind. It is acting in accordance with our higher nature, using wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance to navigate the challenges life throws at us. So when the Stoics talk about the only prize, they are referring to the inner peace and resilience that come from living virtuously. Unlike money or power, this prize is something that cannot be taken away from us. No matter what happens in the external world, whether we face poverty, illness, or misfortune, our inner virtue remains within our control. Let's take a closer look at how some of the great Stoic philosophers describe this idea. Epictetus, one of the most well-known Stoic teachers, emphasized that while we don't control the external world, we always control our own responses. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." For Epictetus, the only true prize was mastering our own thoughts and emotions. External success could come and go, but the ability to stay calm and composed in the face of adversity was a reward that would stay with us forever. In his work discourses, Epictetus explained that if we focus on cultivating our inner virtues, we will find contentment no matter what happens. On the other hand, if we chase after things outside of our control, like wealth, fame, or the approval of others, we will inevitably be disappointed. These things are fickle and fleeting. The true prize is something far more stable, our own character. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor and Stoic philosopher, echoed this sentiment in his Meditations. As one of the most powerful men in the world, he could have had anything he wanted in terms of material success. But Marcus knew that these things did not lead to real fulfillment. He often reminded himself that the only thing he truly controlled was his own mind. In one of his most famous passages, Marcus writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." For Marcus, the true prize was not his position as emperor or his military victories, but his ability to stay virtuous and rational amidst the chaos of life. He understood that power and prestige were temporary, but inner peace through virtuous living was eternal. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, also stressed that the ultimate reward in life is not something external. He famously wrote, "The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach." Seneca believed that we are often distracted by the pursuit of wealth or pleasure, but these things do not bring lasting joy. True contentment comes from being in control of our own minds and desires, from living in alignment with reason and virtue. But what does all this mean for us today? In a world obsessed with external validation, whether it's through social media likes, career achievements, or financial success, the Stoic idea of the only prize feels almost revolutionary. We are constantly told that happiness lies just around the corner, in the next promotion, the next relationship, the next gadget. But Stoicism teaches us that this is an illusion. The things we chase in the external world may bring temporary pleasure, but they will not bring lasting fulfillment. They are outside our control, and the more we depend on them for our happiness, the more fragile our happiness becomes. Stoicism offers a different path. It tells us that the only prize worth pursuing is the cultivation of our inner selves, our virtue, our wisdom, our ability to stay calm and rational in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. This prize is something that no one can take away from us. It is a form of wealth that doesn't disappear when circumstances change. So how can we start pursuing this inner prize in our own lives? First, we can practice mindfulness and self-reflection, examining our thoughts and emotions regularly. Ask yourself, am I reacting to this situation in a way that is in line with my values and reason? Am I allowing external events to control my mood and happiness? By doing this, we become more aware of when we are letting go of our inner power and start taking it back. Second, we can work on accepting the things we cannot control. This is perhaps the hardest part of Stoicism, but also the most liberating. When we stop trying to control the uncontrollable, whether it's other people's opinions, the outcome of events, or even our own physical circumstances, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. As the Stoics would say, we learn to live according to nature, accepting life as it comes, while focusing on what we can change, our own character. Lastly, we can make a commitment to live virtuously, even when it's difficult. This means acting with courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance in all situations, no matter how small. Over time, this will build an unshakable foundation of inner strength, and we will start to see that this is the only prize that truly matters. Stoicism teaches us that the only prize worth pursuing is not fame, fortune, or external success, but the peace and contentment that come from living virtuously. This inner prize is something that no one can take away from us, no matter what happens in the world around us. It's a philosophy that offers real, lasting fulfillment, and it's as relevant today as it was in the time of the ancient Stoics. Number 6. The power of a mantra. In today's fast-paced world, many of us find ourselves overwhelmed by stress, uncertainty, and constant distractions. We search for ways to stay grounded, productive, and resilient in the face of adversity. One powerful tool that can help is adopting a mantra, a guiding principle or phrase that helps focus the mind. Mantras have been used in various traditions from spiritual to philosophical. But when we talk about the power of a mantra in the context of Stoicism, its significance takes on a whole new meaning. The Stoic philosophy, Stoicism, a philosophy founded in ancient Greece, teaches us how to live a life of virtue, wisdom, and tranquility, regardless of our circumstances. It centers on the belief that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions to them. This focus on internal mastery is key. In Stoicism, a mantra can act as a daily reminder of these core principles. Think of it as a verbal compass that points us back to our values when we get lost in the chaos of everyday life. What is a Stoic mantra? A Stoic mantra isn't just a catchy phrase or a motivational quote. It's a distilled form of the philosophy's teachings, meant to guide your actions and thoughts. For example, one of the most popular Stoic mantras is Amor Fati, which translates to love of fate. This mantra encourages us to embrace everything that happens to us, both good and bad, as necessary and meaningful. Instead of resisting life's challenges, we learn to accept them as opportunities for growth. Another powerful Stoic mantra is Memento Mori, which means, remember you must die. While this might sound morbid at first, its true purpose is to remind us of the fleeting nature of life. By keeping death in mind, we learn to appreciate the present moment and stop wasting time on trivial matters. These mantras serve as mental anchors, pulling us back to what truly matters when distractions and difficulties arise. The importance of repetition. The repetition of a mantra is where its true power lies. Just like physical exercise strengthens muscles, repeating a mantra strengthens our mental resilience. Stoicism teaches us that our thoughts shape our reality. If we continuously focus on negative, unhelpful thoughts, we'll likely end up feeling overwhelmed or frustrated. But when we repeat a mantra that aligns with Stoic principles, it helps us break that cycle and reframe our mindset. For instance, if you find yourself stressed about something beyond your control, like traffic, a delayed flight, or other people's behavior, a Stoic mantra like, "It is not things that disturb us, but our view of them," borrowed from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, can remind you that it's your perception of the event, not the event itself, causing you distress. By shifting your perspective, you regain control over your emotions and reactions. Using a Stoic mantra in daily life. Let's talk about how to apply this in daily life. Imagine you're about to face a tough day at work, or you're dealing with personal challenges. Having a Stoic mantra ready in your mental toolbox can help you maintain focus and clarity. When stress mounts, you can silently repeat something like, "I can control my actions, not outcomes." This mantra helps you shift from obsessing over results to focusing on what you can actually control, your efforts and your attitude. Another example, say you're dealing with difficult people. Instead of getting frustrated or angry, repeating a mantra like, "Others can hurt only my body, not my mind," from the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, reminds you that your inner peace is in your hands. This way, you detach from the negativity and choose a calm, reasoned response. The beauty of Stoic mantras is that they're simple but profound. They don't require you to meditate for hours or make drastic life changes. Instead, they serve as quick reminders that help you keep your mind clear and your heart aligned with what's important. Strengthening mental toughness. Mantras aren't just about finding peace. They're about building mental toughness. Stoicism encourages us to face life's challenges head-on, rather than avoiding or complaining about them. A mantra like, "The obstacle is the way," popularized by the modern Stoic movement, encapsulates this mindset perfectly. It's a reminder that every difficulty we face is an opportunity to practice virtue and improve ourselves. This mantra teaches us to stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit, but instead, as opportunities to grow. When faced with a challenge, repeating, "The obstacle is the way," shifts our focus from fear or frustration to problem-solving and perseverance. A tool for inner calm and reflection. In addition to helping us navigate challenges, Stoic mantras also promote inner calm and reflection. Stoicism places great emphasis on self-awareness and mindfulness, long before these concepts became popular in modern wellness movements. By using mantras to focus our minds, we become more present and aware of our thoughts and actions. For example, "This too shall pass" is a mantra that can remind us that nothing in life, good or bad, is permanent. It helps cultivate a sense of calm when we're overwhelmed by either anxiety or excitement. The mantra encourages equanimity, a balanced state of mind where we don't overreact to life's highs or lows. Cultivating gratitude and perspective. Stoic mantras also help us cultivate gratitude and keep a healthy perspective. A phrase like "remember it's all borrowed" reminds us that everything we have, our health, possessions, relationships, is temporary. Instead of taking these things for granted, we're encouraged to appreciate them while they last. When we approach life from this perspective, we become more grateful, less entitled, and more at peace with life's uncertainties. Incorporating a Stoic mantra into your daily routine can be a transformative experience. Whether you're seeking more mental clarity, emotional resilience, or a greater sense of purpose, these simple phrases act as reminders of Stoic wisdom. They're not just words, they're principles to live by, helping you stay grounded in the face of life's storms. Stoicism isn't about avoiding difficulty, but about mastering yourself in the midst of it. By regularly using a mantra, you can keep your mind focused on what you can control, embrace life's inevitable challenges, and find peace no matter the external circumstances. So next time life throws you a curveball, remember, the power of a mantra lies in its ability to center you in what truly matters: your character, your actions, and your response to the world around you. Number 7. Stoicism, one of the most influential schools of ancient philosophy, offers a practical framework for how to live a virtuous life in harmony with nature. The Stoic teachings are not about renouncing emotions or desires, but rather about learning how to respond to life's challenges with clarity and resilience. Central to this framework are what are known as the 3 areas of training, or 3 disciplines: the discipline of desire or will, the discipline of action, and the discipline of assent. These areas represent the core of Stoic practice and provide guidance on how to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and inner peace. In this video, we'll explore these 3 disciplines and how they can be applied in our everyday lives to help us live more mindfully and purposefully. 1. The discipline of desire or will. The first area of training deals with desire, the things we want, crave, or avoid. In Stoicism, this is closely tied to the idea of control. The Stoics believe that much of human suffering comes from desiring things that are outside of our control. When we attach ourselves to external outcomes or material possessions, we set ourselves up for disappointment because these things are often subject to forces beyond our influence. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, said, "Some things are within our control and some things are not." This simple truth is the foundation of the discipline of desire. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is in our power, our thoughts, our actions, and how we respond to situations. Everything else, such as other people's opinions, natural events, or the outcome of our efforts, is beyond our control. To practice this discipline, Stoics encourage us to regularly reflect on what we truly need to be content. Are we striving for things that are not within our control? Are we basing our happiness on external outcomes, like success, wealth, or the approval of others? By recognizing these tendencies, we can begin to shift our focus inward. The goal is to align our desires with what is naturally within our power, to want only what can be achieved through our own efforts and choices. In modern life, the discipline of desire can help us reduce stress and anxiety. Instead of worrying about things we cannot change, we can focus on our own actions and attitudes. For example, if you're preparing for a job interview, instead of fixating on whether you'll get the job, you can concentrate on doing your best during the interview process. The result is secondary. What matters is your effort and attitude. 2. The discipline of action. The second area of training focuses on action, how we interact with the world and the people around us. Stoicism places a great emphasis on living in accordance with virtue. For the Stoics, the ultimate goal is to act with wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation in all situations. The discipline of action is about doing what is right, regardless of external rewards or recognition. It involves making ethical choices, treating others with respect, and fulfilling our responsibilities to society. The Stoics believed that we are all part of a larger whole, and our actions should contribute to the common good. This means acting with integrity and aligning our actions with our values, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. In everyday life, the discipline of action calls us to reflect on our behaviors and decisions. Are we acting in a way that reflects our highest values? Are we treating others with kindness and fairness? Stoicism reminds us that every action is an opportunity to practice virtue. Whether we're dealing with a difficult colleague, making a financial decision, or simply going through our daily routine, the way we act matters. One way to apply this in modern life is through mindful decision-making. Before taking action, consider whether your choice is driven by virtue or by selfishness, fear, or impulse. The Stoics encourage us to pause and reflect before we act, ensuring that our choices align with our principles. Another key aspect of this discipline is courage, the willingness to act virtuously even in the face of hardship or adversity. For instance, if you witness injustice, the Stoic approach would urge you to stand up for what is right, even if it's uncomfortable or risky. The discipline of action helps us cultivate moral courage and resilience, ensuring that we live in alignment with our highest ideals. 3. The discipline of assent. The third and final area of training is assent, how we judge and interpret the world around us. Assent refers to the judgments we make about the things we perceive, and Stoicism teaches that many of our problems arise not from external events but from our interpretations of them. The Stoics recognize that we often react to situations based on assumptions, biases, or emotional responses rather than clear, rational thinking. The discipline of assent is about learning to step back and critically evaluate our initial impressions. Before accepting something as true, Stoicism encourages us to question whether our interpretation is accurate and whether it is leading to a helpful or harmful response. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about this concept in his Meditations. He urged himself to remain mindful of his thoughts and to separate mere impressions from reality. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength, he wrote. In practice, this discipline involves cultivating a sense of detachment from our initial reactions. If someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of immediately becoming angry or frustrated, the Stoic approach would suggest pausing and questioning your reaction. Is this event truly worth your emotional energy? Does getting angry help the situation? More often than not, our emotional responses are disproportionate to the actual events, and learning to practice the discipline of assent helps us respond more calmly and wisely. In the modern world, this can be particularly helpful in managing stress and negative emotions. Whether it's dealing with a difficult situation at work or navigating interpersonal conflicts, the ability to pause and reflect on our judgments allows us to respond with greater clarity and composure. Conclusion. Applying the 3 areas of training. The 3 areas of training in Stoicism, desire, action, and assent, offer a comprehensive guide to living a balanced and virtuous life. By focusing on what we can control, acting with integrity and refining our judgments, we can navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and tranquility. To apply these teachings in your own life, start by becoming more aware of where your desires, actions, and judgments are leading you. Are you focusing on things outside of your control? Are your actions aligned with your values? Are your judgments based on clear thinking, or are they clouded by emotional reactions? By reflecting on these questions, you can begin to incorporate Stoic principles into your daily routine. The Stoic path is not about perfection, but about progress. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Through the practice of the 3 areas of training, we can become more self-aware, more virtuous, and ultimately more at peace with the world around us.